You know, the whole hurricane recovery kind of has two components to it, in my opinion. It has a being patient component and a working hard component. On our adventure.
Ah, yeah, freezing cold here.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Well, we are going home today. My mom will be picking me up and we're headed back to Tampa Bay. Gonna look at our home and see what is there after Hurricane Irma came through. But I've been hearing from my friends who have made it back to Tampa Bay already or who have stayed through the hurricane there because they weren't in an evacuation zone like we were. And they said all of the power lines have pretty much been taken care of. All of the fallen trees have been taken care of and the area did not flood as badly as expected. So we're pretty optimistic that our home that is on the water is doing okay. I have an app with my power company and we currently don't have power. If we still have no power by the time we get there, we're gonna stay in a hotel. I need power for my medical supplies and my health. But other than that, we're doing good. Oh yeah, and we put all of our furniture upstairs to hopefully save it if the first floor flooded. And I can't physically get around my home with my walker with how all the furniture is. So we're hoping with friends and maybe neighbors we can situate that, because Judd, again, is with the National Guard still. So he is obviously busy and can't help us put the furniture back. And when he gets home, he's gonna be exhausted from working so hard with hurricane relief efforts. So if we can have the house back to how it's supposed to be when he gets home, I know he'll really appreciate that. The dogs are happy as per usual. So Janice here, Paul went off to work, and we've both not been doing so great health-wise lately. I was in her bathroom last night with an upset stomach. She goes, "Jackie, I need you to get out because I really gotta use the bathroom." So the two of us together just having our issues, and even through the hurricane, I was having issues, but it kind of overshadowed my health, and Paul and Janice do a great job of helping me with my complications, but it's really difficult to maintain my routine for healthcare when I'm not in my environment at home, and I feel like I kind of went declined a bit. And this feeding tube has been giving me issues. Don't get me wrong, it's been great. We made the right choice giving me a feeding tube, but with every treatment, there's gonna be pros and cons, and some of the cons I've been having is really bad feeding tube pain. I'm not tolerating my current formula, and there's still things to sort out. Got my infusion going, and Janice and I are just not feeling so great, so we're gonna rest on the couch while we wait for my mom to come pick me up. And since we're both having our toilet issues, we've decided we're gonna watch the Bob's Burgers episode where Bob gets glued to the toilet.
She would pick that up.
It's a really good episode, and we love Bob's Burgers, so that's what we're gonna do right now. Okay, there has been a change of plans. My mom doesn't have to work until Monday. Schools are closed until then. And since we still don't have power at our house in Tampa Bay, we've decided to stay in Orlando. As much as I want to go home and as easier as it is to handle my health and our own environment, it's not going to work if there's no power. And we're going to go stay with my dad. He has been discharged from the hospital and is doing much better. His home in Orlando does have power, and I just don't get to see him as much as I'd like since I live in Tampa Bay and he lives in Orlando and neither of us can drive. So my mom and I are gonna go stay with my dad until the power comes back on. I may need to reschedule the IVIG I had this week. I already had a doctor's appointment this week. We had to reschedule because even my doctors don't have power down in Tampa Bay. So it's all about just making plans and being patient while life slowly falls back into place after this hurricane. Y'all are so cute. All right, say your goodbye, pooches. You'll see each other again soon. But Hippo, we're leaving. Goodbye, my love. I love you very much. Thank you for having me and surviving. I'm sure we'll see each other again soon.
Everybody in the background.
Yeah. Well, we're off to go see my dad. I'm excited to see how he's doing after getting discharged. Mom, how's the hurricane?
No, we were in the hospital. We didn't feel anything, but that electricity went off. But you know, they have a plant, an electric
generator.
so the generator
Keep
kicked in.
the electricity back on in the hospital.
But at your father's house, there is electricity since yesterday. So, you know, but I know that there's a lot of places here in Orlando.
Yeah, there's a lot with no power. And even though when we're driving around, there's like not much damage or flooding right now, there's still places in Florida that were severely impacted. A lot of Miami is flooded and there's a lot of damage, especially in the Keys as well. And there's millions of people without power. You know, it's not just us in Tampa Bay, millions without power. So this hurricane did make an impact, but I'm thankful to say it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be, at least in the areas we're in right now and in Tampa Bay. Also, some of the traffic lights are not working, which is interesting. I mean, people are being careful, so we are still in recovery mode from the hurricane and still interested to see what our house looks like when we go back. But like I said, my friends in the area, no one's gone into our house yet to see if the carpet's wet from flooding, but they said our neighborhood looked pretty good. Just a lot of trees down, like there's a lot of trees down everywhere, but cleanup crews have been doing amazing. The power companies have been working hard. You know, the National Guard and first responders, everyone's working really hard to come together and overcome the impact the hurricane left, which is really, really awesome to see. I was just thinking, like, what's everyone doing? I'm like, oh, we're treating it as a stop sign because the lights aren't working. Got it. I made it to my dad's place and took a much needed shower. Feel so much nicer being clean, and I changed my port needle because it was time. I've also mixed my banana bag infusion. Just got to put it into my backpack, hook up to that, hook back up to my feed since I unhooked for my shower. And for those of y'all wondering what my feeding tube looks like when it's not hooked up to anything, it looks just like this. I don't use the tubey pad inside the shower, but it's just a little button thing, the G port to my stomach and the J port to my jejunum, which is where I run my nutrition. All right, I am hooked back up. Second half of my infusion is running for the day and I am worn out. I'm really thankful to be here with my family. I am so thankful my loved ones are safe through the hurricane. My dad has power and Paul and Janice have power and water and all that good stuff, but I really just want to go home. I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned this, but caring for my complex health is so much easier to do in my environment at home. Everything I need is exactly where I need it to be. The house is set up to accommodate me and my needs. And I have all of my physicians over in Tampa Bay and whatnot that I need to get to. I have treatments I need to continue, like IVIG on Friday, but I think just because of the practicality of things and we don't know when our power is going to come back on and when Judd's getting home and all of this stuff, I think we're going to reschedule IVIG. I've already had to cancel one doctor appointment this week because the doctor's office doesn't have power. And, you know, even in the wake of a hurricane, I still have to care for my health. And it does complicate things, but you just do the best you can. You still got to change your port needles, still got to run your infusions, still got to hook up to your feeding tube and do the best you can for your body. Yes, hurricanes and other extraneous variables make it more difficult, but we just keep moving forward no matter how exhausted we get. But I am feeling relieved to be here with my mom and dad, and it's nice to see my dad being well after the hospital. He's been really tired since this day, so he's been sleeping, but I think he's going to wake up for dinner time now. Well, my dad made a delicious dinner of rice with shrimp and scallops, and that type of seafood always settles well for me, usually. And some vegetables, and it's nice to have a dinner with my mom and dad. How you doing, Daddy?
Hi, beautiful.
You doing good?
I'm doing good. What helps me a lot is having you here. We got the family together, almost. We just got Judd missing, but he's doing great things.
He is. Well, I had a nice dinner with my parents, and now we're all getting ready to go to bed. My mom and I are gonna be sleeping in my old room. This is my old room here when I lived with my dad back when Judd was deployed. But anyways, you know, the whole hurricane recovery kind of has two components to it, in my opinion. It has a being patient component and a working hard component. The being patient component is like patiently waiting for the power to turn back on in my house, because I know the power companies are working hard and first responders are working hard to clean up the streets and make sure everything is safe for us. And then the other component is working hard. Even though I'm not home and I'm feeling kind of displaced, I'm working hard to make sure I'm keeping as healthy an outlook as I can. I'm working hard to take care of my body. I'm working hard to make sure I'm doing all I can to be the best I can be in this situation, which is less than ideal. And I'm still praying for all of those who were affected by Irma, even outside of Florida, because I know those southern islands were brutally affected, and in Miami and the Keys too, and in Jacksonville, there's just, the damage is mind-blowing in some of these areas. So keeping everyone in my thoughts, and glad to be here with my parents. Hopefully the power will turn back on soon in my home. But like I said, that's the patient component. Oh, I was able to have a really long conversation with Judd. I was able to talk to him on the phone for like 20 minutes, which is the longest time ever since he's left, and he's doing well. Just putting forth those efforts to help with hurricane relief, and looking forward to whenever he's able to come home. So with that, I will say good night, and thanks for joining us on our adventure.